The Seminoles of Florida State on the road against the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech in a key game in the ACC. And this is a series that Florida State has owned against the Yellow Jackets in ACC play. Once a national power, Florida State has struggled in recent years. Now the Noles look like they're back. They bring their high-flying offense to Atlanta in control of their own destiny in the ACC Atlantic Division. Bobby Bowden has never lost to Georgia Tech. A 13th straight win over the Yellow Jackets today would propel Bowden's boys in their quest for an ACC crown. But there's a new leader at the Flats. Paul Johnson's brought his spread option to Georgia Tech, and the Ramblin' Wreck has rolled to 6 wins. Today, the Yellow Jackets hope to maintain their own ACC title dreams. It's Florida State and Georgia Tech in Atlanta, coming up next. A crystal clear day, not a cloud in sight as you look in from the blimp into Bobby Dodd Stadium and our matchup today in the ACC, Florida State and Georgia Tech. Welcome to Atlanta, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. You know, I've lived in an ACC city for almost 3 decades. I've never seen the conference standings look like this. On a night when we're supposed to fall back with the clocks, you'd think somebody would try to spring forward in the ACC standings. Florida State right now in control of their own destiny. Maryland's got the day off. They don't play until Thursday against Virginia Tech. Virginia beat Georgia Tech last week. That was an opportunity in the Coastal Division for Georgia Tech to kind of step forward. They couldn't. Virginia right now is embattled with Miami in overtime. That's the way this season has been in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I welcome in my first partner, Bob Griese. Question, Griese, is Florida State all the way back?
Well, they're close. Defensively, they're back in the top 10 in the nation. Offensively, they found their leader. Quarterback Christian Ponder makes his 8th start today. They tell us he's the real deal, and the coaching staff is as good as Bobby's had in a long time.
Speaking of coaching staffs, I guess the skeptics have been quieted here at the Flats. Paul Johnson 6-2. If nothing else, they're unique.
It's unique, and it's a hybrid offense was what it is. It's a spread, but it's a triple option spread. Only 2 teams out of 119 in Division I use this offense. I saw Paul a little bit earlier down on the field, and I asked him, what's the key to the success of this offense?
Well, I think we've got to get the play started. We've got to be able to get the quarterback out of the box on the option plays and not allow penetration by the guys you're trying to block inside. And then on the perimeter, we'd like to get some guys cut to the ground.
They've got some guys on the perimeter that can make big plays. This offense has probably made more big plays than Georgia Tech did all of last year in a more conventional offense. One thing that keeps them in games, Paul, their defense is pretty good.
Yeah, it is. That's in the secondary. They're hurting just a little bit. Yep. But they have linebackers and defensive linemen. And we asked Bobby about it the other day. We said, Coach, what about this Tech defense? He said, I'll tell you, son, he said, they got 2 dadgum pretty good defensive ends on this football team. And that's Johnson and Morgan. They have 21 sacks on the defense. These 2 guys have half of the sacks. And one other thing, they're second in the nation in tackles for loss with 71. That's incredible.
And they can intercept the ball. They've got the nation's leader back there. Speaking of leadership, the leaders on the team, Stacy's down there with them, know how big this game is today.
I have been observing these players. I've talked to them all week, even though they lost to Virginia last weekend. I assure you there is no hangover effect. In fact, I talked to quarterback Josh Nesbitt, and he told me, head coach Paul Johnson, basic message all week. If you guys think you're a good team, you cannot lose 2 games in a row. He said it's time we have to come out and prove ourselves again, and one thing they have to do, they cannot turn the football over. That's a key this week, Brad.
Well, the Ramblin' Wreck's out there, so are the Yellow Jackets. They're set for the Noles when we come back. 15th ranked Florida State on the road against Georgia Tech. Stacy is down on the field with the coach.
Coach Bowden, as you guys have prepared for the triple option offense, what unique things have you done in practice this week to get ready for the game?
Well, you have to change your strategy all the way around, and we've tried to do that, get a base plan. Then we've done like a lot of people. We'll practice without the offense having the ball, so our kids will concentrate on their assignment. Man, this is assignment defensive football game. You take him, you take him, you take him. And when you don't, you get in trouble.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
You got to love practicing without a ball. Paul Johnson on the sideline, his first year at Georgia Tech after a successful stint at Navy, and prior to that, national championships twice at Georgia Southern. The Yellow Jackets won the toss and have deferred. Late arriving crowd, but now it's getting vocal. You can't ask for a prettier day. Jonathan Dwyer firing up the student body. Scott Blair will tee it up. Michael Ray Garvin and Preston Parker will await on the other end. It's a must-win for Georgia Tech. It's a statement win for Florida State that could put them at the head of the class and maybe have them headed toward Tampa. But they've won 12 straight. Georgia Tech hasn't won in this series since way before these two teams were ACC members. Here we go from Atlanta. Preston Parker at the 11. Parker across the 30 and out to about the 32-yard line. Scott Blair, the kicker, made the tackle after a 21-yard return. Christian Ponder on the sideline will bring out the Florida State team and the impact players presented by Best Buy. His favorite receiver, Greg Carr, at 6'6", who can go up and get it. Everett Brown had 3 sacks last week, defensive lineman of the week in the conference. And at the back end, Tony Carter, 9 career interceptions, and he knows what to do when he gets his hands on the ball as both a defenseman or a punt returner. Knowles, the throw on first down. A little bit behind the receiver, but Parker made a tough catch and got 9 out of it. Christian Ponder, the guy Bob talked about, only a sophomore, but already in graduate school out of Colleyville, Texas. And there's his numbers. And we saw him have a great game, especially as a runner against Miami. He had over 140 yards on the ground. 2nd down and 1. You see the starting lineups above the scoreboard. Here's the pitch to Smith. He's got the first down and the corner. Anton Smith, who's been a little bit banged up, has got some bad ribs, but didn't look like he was hurting there, did he?
He ran very well with the ball. He's also had an elbow injury, has no wrappings on the elbow. Didn't work out very much before the ball game, but going to try and go as far as he can go and then pass it on to somebody else.
And he's already gone to the 47-yard line at Georgia Tech. Carr and Reed, the 2 wideouts to the bottom of your screen. First down, Florida State. Ponder, quick slant, complete. It's Carr diving forward to the 33, and a first down and a pickup of 14. A key matchup when you talk about this game, and Paul sort of touched about the Georgia Tech defensive line and how experienced they are. Florida State, a lot of youngsters on that front wall, but they learned a lot from last year.
Yes, they did. As you see there are 3 starting offensive linemen that are true freshmen. Both tackles, the right and left tackles and the right guard, are true freshmen. Very good defensive line for Tech.
Quick snap, nice play fake by Ponder. Rolling left, trying to find a receiver, and instead he'll get what he can, about a 2-yard pickup to the 31. Derek Morgan made the stop, one of those defensive ends that Paul talked about. We understand that Miami has beaten Virginia in overtime, and that continues to mess up the conference standings. Virginia had been the hottest team in the conference, and now Miami jumps up and beats them.
Virginia is like Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah. They're up and down, and Miami has been playing well the last few weeks.
I'm sure Coach Friedgen's watching this game too. Maryland's been a little schizoid this year too. No offense intended, Coach. 2nd down and 8. Ponder in the shotgun. With 5 wide receivers. Throws and complete to Carr again. He breaks the tackle. Carr on the run inside the 15. He's got it down to the 11-yard line. Well, we said Greg Carr was an impact player. He's an impact guy on this drive already.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing about this catch. The throw was perfect. But after this catch, you know what you're going to see? Number 5, Preston Parker, get a block. Watch this. Here's the catch. Look at coming from the right. Right there. That was Parker making the block.
All of the completions have been on slant routes too, Brad.
Yep.
To the wide receivers.
Now Carr comes down to the bottom of your screen. They don't mind throwing a jump ball to him at 6'6". First down at the Rendlin Rec 11-yard line. On the ground is Sims. A few tough yards inside to about the 8. Derek Morgan made another tackle. Georgia Tech haven't allowed a touchdown in the last 13 games. They're in danger of blowing that graphic up right here.
Well, this defense is ranked in the top 20 in the nation in every defensive category.
The Noles have a 2nd down and 7. They can get a 1st down inside the Georgia Tech 1. Carr trots out to the right this time. Ponder in the shotgun. And he's going to run with it. Quarterback draw all the way. And whistles had blown before he took off. I think maybe Spurlock, the right guard, moved early. The fans are booing because they wanted the play to stand and the tackle to be made.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, number 7. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Well, they took too much time.
Yeah, they just take too much time. This is on Ponder at the end of the play because the 25-second clock or the 40-second clock is right at the end of the field. He should be able to see it very, very easily, unless they took too much time getting the play into it.
This could change things quite a bit. 7th play of the drive, 2nd down and 11. Looks left all the way, goes complete there, but Burnett makes a great play at the 9-yard line, and the open field stop on Reed.
You know, the one thing about, you talk about Burnett, now here, this young man has got 6 interceptions, leading the nation. The thing about Burnett is if I'm going to pick on someone in that secondary, he's not going to be the guy because even the coaches told us he's the best football player on the field right now. Number 1, this young man can read, and when you see Ponder step back and he eyeballs the receiver that he's going to throw to Reed, I wouldn't do that.
I would be thinking about where number 18 is as well. He's down to the bottom of your screen. 10 with a blitz. They're going to throw it to Carr in the corner. He falls down. Flags go down as well. Michael Peterson over there trying to cover big number 18. Jack Childress is our referee. Here's the call.
Pass interference, number 35 of the defense. Penalty places the ball at the 2-yard line. That's an automatic 1st down.
That's a killer.
Well, Peterson is the 6th defensive back. He's playing in there because of the injuries to Ward Daniels and to Reese. So they've got their best receiver on the, oh yeah, that just, I mean, you could do that if the ball was not in the air, as long as he's in front of you. But since it was in the air, you just can't do that.
1st and goal now, Florida State.
They got the great matchup. They won it.
Sims, the tailback, will get the pitch behind his blockers, and he stood up. Nice job by the Georgia Tech defense. Tony Clark, the outside linebacker, on a loss of 1.
Yes, I know I was talking just a moment ago. We're going to be talking about him this whole game as Morgan Burnett, number 1. Now, he's a safety, and he only weighs 198 pounds when I say only. But he's the guy that made the initial hit that didn't allow Sims to get into the end zone.
At the 3-yard line, 2nd down and goal. This is the opening drive of the football game, and Florida State's taking it the length of the field, aided by penalty. Nice play fake by Ponder. On the roll, he's going to keep it, and he won't get there. Anthony Barnes, the outside linebacker, with a stop.
It's a nice play by Barnes. It looked like Ponder just had to walk into the end zone, and then he pulled it down. Barnes came up and made a tackle to save the touchdown.
10th play of the drive coming up. Still no score, but the clock is down to 8:50. Another huge 3rd down play. The last time Georgia Tech was penalized and gave Florida State another chance. On the option, Ponder trying to find the end zone, and he did. Touchdown. Christian Ponder, 3-yard scoring run.
Here you take a look. They run the option on 3rd down. Ponder doesn't see anything outside. There's a hole inside. One of the offensive linemen may have got a block that allowed that gaping hole. Ponder sneaks in.
And the officials stopped play before the extra points. Now the play is being reviewed. And we'll take another look along with Charlie Callis, our replay official, up here.
I really like what Ponder does here. Like Grease said, he saw nothing to the outside. And just remember something. You look at where his knees hit the ground and where the ball is when his knees hit. That ball is over the line, and he's leaning out.
Well, you can't see where his knees hit, Paul. That's the only thing. The ball definitely goes over the end line. There is nothing from what we have seen that they could reverse this call on.
That's the key, isn't it?
Ponder right now thinking that he has scored his first rushing touchdown. We talked about his impressive rushing numbers, but he hadn't been in the end zone until that one, and maybe he's still not. Here's the call.
After video review, the call on the field has been confirmed. Touchdown.
There you go.
Capping a 10-play drive, 68 yards and 6.5 minutes.
Ponder 4 for 4 on the drive, and most all of those were slant routes to the wide receivers.
Gano in for the point after. Good looking opening march by the Seminoles. On the road, Florida State takes the lead over Georgia Tech, and Christian Ponder's 3-yard touchdown, 7-0. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC, and in high definition on a highly beautiful day in Atlanta. How about this one, guys, huh? Is this pretty?
Isn't that a great shot of the city?
From the Bloomin' Onion, our great shot from the blimp. Florida State went 68 yards on their opening drive. Used a good chunk of the first quarter to score first, 7-0 Noles. James Esco to kick, Marcus Wright and Roddy Jones. That's Roddy Jones back deep. Jones at the 9. Out across the 30. Roddy Jones all the way into Florida State territory at the 46-yard line. Tech has had all kinds of trouble on kick returns this year. That's about the best they've done, 46 yards.
But you got to look at the way he just sets up inside behind that wall. Look at Roddy Jones. Watch him sit in behind the wall. Now he follows them up, and then when they break off, he breaks off. Look at the hole. Just perfect running and great reading.
Talking with Georgia Tech special teams coach yesterday, and I said, you're going to get a kickoff return for a touchdown? I said, we just want somebody to catch one. That was a pretty good one.
That sure was.
46 to the 46. First down, Georgia Tech. Here's Josh Nesbitt wanting to throw on first down. And does, and Dwyer's got it at the 16-yard line. Nothing to this spread option stuff. Just drop back and pass.
Colt McCoy or any of those guys could have thrown this ball any better.
Right on the money.
Watch the back right here. He's going to swing down the sideline. It's covered beautifully. You know, you can't throw this ball any better.
Georgia Tech, 2 big plays, and they're at the Noles 16. Now it's Dwyer on the dive, and he goes for about 3. Our city X factor, number 9, Josh Nesbitt. Doesn't put up big numbers throwing, but what this spread option does do is gets the defense so comfortable that they've got guys, 8 and 9 guys in the box. When he drops back, he can make big plays.
Well, that's it. You know, 80% of this offense is run, 20% is pass, but that 20%, you're probably going to have single coverage on your receivers.
Second down at 7. And now the keeper by Nesbitt. And Florida State, as Bobby Bowden told Stacy, it's assignment football. And playing his assignment very well, Derek Nicholson and a loss on the play of about a yard. Let's take a look at our Best Buy impact players. For Georgia Tech, Demarius Thomas, big wide receiver at 230 pounds, hard to handle. Michael Johnson, one of those defensive ends Paul talked about, an all-ACC performer. And in the back end, Morgan Burnett leads the country interceptions with 6, and we've seen him make some big plays already on the opening drive for Florida State. 3rd down and 8. That's Thomas. Nesbitt's looking for him. Throws, and it is almost intercepted at the goal line by Patrick Robinson. Now, Robinson knew what we did. Where's number 8 on a 3rd and long, and he knew where he was.
Well, Robinson was in absolutely perfect position, Ness, on this play. When you see Robinson, number 21, you're going to see him. Watch this. He knows this ball's coming here. He sees him set up. When he sees Thomas set up, he just steps right in front of him. Should have caught the ball.
It's good defensive coverage. A defensive back outplayed the receiver on that ball.
Scott Blair in for a 31-yard field goal attempt. He's 7 out of 12 on the year, doing all of Georgia Tech's kicking chores. Blair's kick on the way, and it's good. Georgia Tech scores on its opening drive, but only got 3. 7-3 Seminoles.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy.
That's the Oakland Cemetery, founded in 1850, resting place of Atlanta icons such as Margaret Mitchell, Bobby Jones, Maynard Jackson, and soldiers from the Civil War. Historic Oakland Foundation's raised funds to restore that historic Atlanta trademark. This is a trademark in sorts, one of the oldest stadiums in the country, Bobby Dodd Stadium in Grant Field. As you look in a 7-3 ball game, Florida State in front of Georgia Tech here in the first quarter. Michael Ray Garvin, dangerous return man from the 4. He's got a seam already. Garvin, the kicker to beat. Down the sideline, ball comes out. Recovered by his own man.
Unbelievable.
On the bounce, Nigel Brandom takes it on one hop.
Ness, he was out of bounds before he fumbled the ball. It's all the way back up here. It's got to come back here, because he stepped out of bounds before he fumbled the ball.
Well, I don't see any sign of an official standing near the sideline.
All right, just take a look at when he breaks to the outside. First of all, he's got a great wall. Now he comes down inside the 50 to 40. Watch his right leg right there. He stepped out of bounds on about the 32, his left leg on the 32-yard line. I got him walking, running the other way. But that ball should be out of bounds back here.
They've got it spotted down at the 10, but Jack Childress is coming to the sideline to talk to the linesman and the field judge.
Yeah, they're going to move this back because our man Paul saw it.
Hey, don't ever fool around when I'm watching.
They're going to move it back.
You know, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
Yeah, well, this guy isn't blind yet. Take a look at it. There's the step. He hits the, and the official standing right there looking at it.
About the 33-yard line. You saw that open a long time before he was there.
Yeah, it looked like a big wall there in front.
It was huge. Gaping hole to run through.
And let me add one other thing. The kicker causes this. Hello, the kicker.
Scott Blair. He's had to make both tackles on kick return so far. That's not a good sign.
How about the way that ball just bounced right up to the
perfect hop?
Yeah.
Garvin came in leading the ACC in kick returns. He won't hurt his average. Here's the call.
After video review, it's determined that the player stepped out of bounds at the 33.5-yard line. First down.
Well, Paul was only off by a half yard, huh?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's where the blind squirrel comes in.
That's right. So we've seen 2 great kick returns, one by each team today. Florida State scored on its opening drive, capped a 68-yard march in 10 plays with Christian Ponder, the quarterback, taking it in from 3 yards out. Georgia Tech got a long kick return of their own, led to a field goal. That's where we are. And now, in a series that has been owned by Florida State, the Seminoles set up shop in the Ramblin' Wreck territory at the 33-yard line with their second offensive possession of the day. Anton Smith. He got hit immediately by Cedric Griffin. Well, What's the plan? The plan is already at 7-3, but what's the plan, guys?
Well, the plan for Florida State, it's in the pits. You got to win the offensive and defensive battles in the pits. And for Georgia Tech, run, and run some more. And then run, Forrest, run. But then every now and then take a shot down the field because you're going to get some great opportunities.
And that's what they did on their opening drive on the pass out of the backfield to Dwyer. 3 wideouts for Florida State. They look confused with their alignment. They're going to take timeouts with 5:40 remaining first quarter. Florida State in front 7-3.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy.
Florida State following its timeout has second down and about 7 to go at the Georgia Tech 31-yard line. Georgia Tech has only blitzed once so far today. They look like they were thinking about it there. Great jump off the ball by Johnson, and the ball is dropped by Preston Parker. Man, did you see how quick Michael Johnson got off the ball?
And I tell you, he's reading something. He's either hearing the cadence or he's reading the offensive tackle, and as soon as that tackle makes a move, he's gone.
Man, he almost beat the snap on that thing.
There's one of the few defensive ends you'll ever see that you think, I mean, he looks like a basketball player. I think he's got about a 30-inch waist. The guy is so thin, but he is strong.
There's Johnson right here in the center.
3rd down and 7. Ponder, the quick throw on Carr. The slant again, and Georgia Tech just can't handle it. Cooper Taylor, the true freshman, made the tackle. Bobby Bowden talked with us about Christian Ponder and how he's really improving every week.
He is nowhere close to maxed out. You know what? I expect him to get better every week. Now, statistics might not show. I'm not interested in statistics. We're interested in winning ball games. You know what? It's how many times can he get you in the end zone? And he's been getting us in there more than the other team has.
I love Bobby.
5 out of 6 times he's got it in the right hand so far in the first quarter. Smith. Well, that's a tough run by Smith. Almost to the 10-yard line.
Let's take a look at that offensive line, Paul, for Florida State. 3 freshmen.
And they actually go up over where the sophomores are, and that's number 62 is Rodney Hudson. He's a sophomore. The center is a sophomore, McMahon.
Yeah.
But the other guys, the right tackle, right guard, and the left tackle are all true freshmen.
2nd down and 3. Parker, the motion man. It'll be Smith, the second man through. Anton Smith bounces it outside. Got to the 10, but a nice tackle by Cooper Taylor. And Anton lost one of his wheels. Sunday night, 8-7 Central. He's a boxing coach who's saved countless kids from the streets. And now Sugar Ray Leonard and George Foreman and Oscar De La Hoya join the Extreme team to give him one knockout of a makeover. All new Extreme Makeover Home Edition Sunday at 8-7 Central on ABC. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Stacey Dales as you look in at Bobby Dodd Stadium, where Florida State leads 7-3, trying to add to it. Big 3rd down here. 3rd down and a couple at the Georgia Tech 10-yard line.
Oh, look at this out here. Single coverage.
The toss to Sims. And Sims is racked up for a loss. Loss of 1. Derek Morgan and Kyle Jackson saying, Morgan's the baby of that defensive line, and he's a good one. There's the front 4 of Georgia Tech.
Now you see Derek Morgan at 6.5 sacks. That's just this year so far. I mean, these guys are really together. This front 4, they have to really win this football game, I think.
Gano has hit 13 in a row. He'll try a 29-yarder here. On the way and just inside the right post. Florida State adds to its lead. Gano is 14th straight field goal. 10-3 now the Noles in front. Coming up tonight, the guns will be blazing out in West Texas, won't they? Texas and Texas Tech, 2 of the 8 remaining unbeatens, having at it on ABC.
How about Texas's last few ball games? They've been doing a gauntlet.
It's been a gauntlet, hasn't it? Yeah. Texas isn't going to get any easier after today either.
Yeah, you know, the only thing about it is those guys really don't like to throw the ball.
That game may last 4 hours.
I know. I hope Brent and the guys got an extra tank of gas out there. That thing will go about 4.5.
But then again, not many of them hit the ground, so
that's true.
The clock doesn't stop.
That's true.
Roddy Jones, who had a great return on his opening kickoff return of the ball game. Back deep, James Esco's got it teed up. Florida State was a 22-yard drive is all they had to go because of their big kick return, and got the Gano field goal 10-3. High kick to Jones, looks in the sun at the 9. Jones, another good return. Across the 35 to the 37, and there might have been, was there a flag in there at the end? Thought I saw something fly on the sideline, apparently not. So Georgia Tech will have good field position after we check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
Brad, Sports Center right now powered by Vizio. 26 seconds left. Minnesota and Northwestern. Adam Weber back to pass. Brendan Smith steps in front of it, and then look at the convoy. 48 yards to the end zone for the touchdown. We already had 3 top 25 teams have lost this week, including Minnesota.
So the Golden Gophers, only their 2nd loss of the year. They've been a surprise team on the positive side. Here's a pitch. Ronnie Jones to the 41.
Oh, man. I'm going to tell you what, you want to talk about taking a fake up the middle. Florida State, their whole inside of their defense went for the dive man. Watch this, folks. When they come out to the outside, Ronnie Jones is all by himself. Here it comes. Look at the people in the middle. Thank you, Robert. And then here's the toss. Bing to the outside. There's nobody there.
It's a triple option. You stop the fullback first, then the quarterback, and then the pitch.
At the 42-yard line of Florida State. First down, Georgia Tech. Now it's Nesbitt keeping. And Josh gets inside the 40 down to about the 38-yard line, picked up close to 5. Myron Rolle made the stop from the secondary.
You know, Ness, this is an offense. You know, when I watched film with Greasy yesterday, God, he would love to have played this offense.
Oh, you bet he would.
He would have loved to have been this quarterback.
I would have really been good in this offense, yeah. I could run as good as my grandmother.
Second down at 5. Now Dwyer to the 35, a pickup of a couple. Third down and about 3 upcoming for Georgia Tech.
The thing about this style of offense, the option, the spread triple option, you don't see it very often. And Florida State, in the middle of the season, has 3 or 4 days during the week defensively to try to change all of their philosophies and stop this triple option.
That's Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, and as Mickey said, only got about 2.5 days to get ready. Third down and a big one.
It's Mickey.
Nesbitt going to keep it. Nice second effort, but I don't think he got there. Looks like he's about a yard shy. Stacy?
Well, guys, just a reminder, talking to Mickey Andrews this week, defensive coordinator for Florida State, he told us it's going to take at least a half of a quarter to catch on and grasp what this Georgia Tech defense, or rather offense, is doing. And he also said we've got to play more desperate than we have any time this year. So just an indication of how seriously they've taken it this week.
It's a good point, because they can't, nobody in practice can simulate the quarterback play of a guy that does this. He said it'll take us a couple of series to get up to speed. And then once we get up to speed, we should be all right.
Nesbitt keeps on the quarterback sneak, and I think he got the first down. That is the 14th time this year Georgia Tech has gone on 4th down. They had 4th down and about 1.
They had to get inside the 32-yard line. Inside.
They're going to bring the chain gang out. You can't always go 100% by that goal line. Jack Childress says they don't need the chain gang. First down.
See, he looked at the yellow line.
He cannot. He can't see that yellow line.
I know that.
I know you know, but I'm just telling our viewers.
Bobby Bowden doesn't get on the headset much. He was on it there. And now the gamble pays off for Georgia Tech. And they got a first down at the 32. And the quarter comes to a close. Good one here in Atlanta in the ACC. Seminoles trying to go to 7-1. Georgia Tech looking for their 7th win of the season.
Was that a review?
And the officials.
Well, I said, because I was looking at the markers across the way, Ness, and it looked like it had to be inside the 32-yard line.
Well, I got news for them. That's why they have chains out there. They don't have to take a look upstairs when you can bring the chain gang on.
And they didn't bring them out, and they moved the chains.
The chains have already been moved, exactly. But I'm saying that's why you should bring the chains out.
Yeah, you don't do this if you don't measure. I mean, how could you tell from that view how far he got in that mess?
I mean, what do you do now? Do you go back and do you look at it on film and see where the chains were? Now put the chains back to where they were and then come back out and measure it? I mean,
unless you know where the hole in the grass is on the far side, it's not going to do you much good.
Video, the call on the field stands. It is a first down.
You can't move the chains and then look at the view.
Nothing ceases to amaze me sometimes. The end of one. I don't think we have to review the score, do we? It's 10-3.
Welcome back to Georgia Tech.
Emblem Wreck trying to roll down the field right now as we start the second quarter, 10-3. Yellow Jackets offense has rolled pretty well. Single coverage on the wide receiver to the near side, but the pitch on the run is Marcus Wright all the way down to the 3-yard line. Well, he's just a little bit fast too, isn't he?
This is a classic case of a linebacker on that outside not staying home. As Bobby Bowden said, everybody has a job to do, and you cannot get away from it. Just take a look at what happens here, Grease, on the outside. There's nobody out there. There's nobody to take the pitch man.
That's the option, as good as it gets. And right there, the quarterback, the wide receiver on that side didn't even have to block him. He just ran down the field, and the corner chased him.
First and goal, Georgia Tech trying to tie this game up. Jonathan Dwyer behind Josh Nesbitt, but the pitch goes the other way. Roddy Jones trying to get to the goal line, and he got to the 1. So guys, we got a second down and goal. Georgia Tech at the 1-yard line. Everybody getting involved in this offense right now.
I'm impressed about Georgia Tech's defense stopping Florida State from scoring after they had that long kickoff return.
And the nice thing that Georgia Tech's doing, you got Dwyer in there, and everybody knows they have Dwyer, but they're using everybody else except Dwyer.
Dwyer stays behind Nesbitt on second down and goal at the 1-yard line of Florida State. Now the pitch is to Cox, and he's in. Touchdown. Lucas Cox for the score. When I said everybody's getting involved, that's one guy that hadn't until that play. Scott Blair in for the point after. Whoa. Knuckleball. .62-yard drive in just 8 plays. You think Georgia Tech's offense can't come up with big plays? They had 4 big ones to get them to the 1, and Lucas Cox did the rest. Scott Blair has got it teed up. Georgia Tech has tied it up at 10. Preston Parker and Patrick Robinson. Michael Ray Garvin got his bell rung, Stacy told us during the break, and that puts a different guy back as a kick returner. This is Parker from the 7. Trying to cross field. Georgia Tech will bring him down right about at the 20-yard line. Morgan Burnett on the special teams made the stop. How does Alabama get an Arkansas State game in week 9? Here's Christian Ponder. Bootlegs and completes it to Parker out to about the 25-yard line. That brings us to this week and our trivia question. That's a slow duck today. Who's won the most individual national awards of any player in the history of college football? Think that one over. I'll give you the answer a little bit later on.
That's incredible. This is going to be incredible, this answer. I love this.
Ponder is out of the ball game. The backup quarterback, Richardson, is in.
Devontre Richardson. They've got a package for him most games. Sometimes they use it, sometimes they don't. He's a great runner. And here he goes. Just a straight run off the left side, and he got about 3. Michael Peterson submarined in there to make the stop. Here's the previous play. Ponder throwing. He took a little bit of a shot from Cedric Griffin.
Yeah, that's not why Richardson was in. They've got this stuff. Ponder's right back in. The backup quarterback, should anything happen long term, is Weatherford. The guy had started 33 games for Florida State over the years.
3rd down for the Seminoles. Play action. Ponder deep out and not far enough. Incomplete. And we'll see our first punt of the day. We had 4 possessions up to this point with scores at the end of each.
Yeah, that was an opportunity that should have been hit. Forston, the receiver he was trying to get the ball to, is a true freshman. Didn't run the route right. He had plenty of sideline and just didn't get to the ball.
Kind of a rarity in this game in that our kickers do both the place kicking and the punting. Graham Gunnell will punt.
This will be the first punt of the game.
Georgia Tech came after it. Fair catch taken at about the 38-yard line by Roddy Jones. 12:02 remaining first half. Good game going on here in Atlanta. As you look in on Atlanta, beautiful day to start November. Georgia Tech tied with Florida State at 10-10 here in the second quarter. And they start for the second straight time from their own 38-yard line. Look at those first down plays for the Ramblin' Wreck. That's incredible.
The spread offense here.
Last time they took a 62-yard march to a touchdown. They'll try it from the same spot. Their own 38s. Looked like Florida State was offside unless Georgia Tech moved early. Flags finally do fly in. Kendrick Stewart looked like the guy that kind of hopped in the neutral zone, but we'll wait and see on the call.
I'll tell you got a center sitting there.
Offside by contact. Nose tackle on the defense. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
That's that boss is sitting at center 77, and you got 2 tackles, one on either shoulder. He knows he's going to get hammered. But they left a little bit too soon.
Was Stewart's, so Georgia Tech gets a free 5 there.
Here they come again. They're both on the center.
It's about as close as you can get without being twins. Nesbitt, late pitch to the corner. Roddy Jones. Jones to the 40. Another 17-yard play. And they better get that pitch, man, or it's going to be a long day.
Yep. I'll tell you what they are doing, though, which is really great for Florida State, except he's not getting the ball. They're stopping Dwyer. He's never getting the ball. They fake the ball to Dwyer, and then when you come back out to the outside, Roddy Jones is wide open. Where is the outside linebacker?
Well, it was the safety that got caught up inside. He was trying to get the quarterback. That's not his man. He's got to take the pitch.
They've not thrown one to Demaryius Thomas yet today.
There it is.
Josh Nesbitt wanted to and came back to his safety valve and completes it. Roddy Jones at the 36-yard line.
Paul Johnson, the head coach, is the offensive coordinator and play caller, and he's doing a nice job crosses the 50-yard line, gets a big play, immediately goes to a pass, which wasn't open deep down the field. So his quarterback scrambled and hit an outlet receiver for a gain of about 5 yards.
There's Thomas out wide to the right side on 2nd down and 6.
This is a spread, but it's a triple option run spread.
There's Dwyer straight up the middle. He's gone. Touchdown. It only takes one time to forget him, and he'll make you pay. Longest run allowed by Florida State all year.
Yeah, take a look
right up here.
Yeah, look at this. You got the 2 guys on the center, and they go inside. No, the center blocks both guys. The guard never had to block anybody, and Dwyer hits the secondary. There's nobody there.
Gilbert, the guard, didn't have anybody to block.
Scott Blair's extra point puts Georgia Tech in front by a touchdown as they lead it home for the first time today. Jonathan Dwyer, his 6th rushing touchdown of the year from 36 yards away, and the Yellow Jackets at home in front. Jonathan Dwyer, the sophomore out of Marietta, his 6th rushing touchdown of the year. 17-10 Georgia Tech in front. Back-to-back 62-yard scoring marches by the Yellow Jackets. Kick to Preston Parker at the 10. Parker out to the 25, and that's all. Let's take you back to the touchdown, capping just a 3-play drive.
Look at the 2 guys right over the nose. Now watch, there's going to be a gaping hole right up the center. The linebacker gets blocked right here. This guy comes the wrong way, and there is nobody up the middle.
No, the umpire was close.
Yeah. Wow.
Florida State's run defense getting gashed in the first half right now. This is a whole different animal they're playing against offensively for Georgia Tech. What a nice play by Michael Peterson. Loss of 3 on Anton Smith.
Now, if you look at Michael Peterson, that's how you play the outside, Ness.
As you look down on Grant Field and Bobby Dodd Stadium, where Georgia Tech leads 17-10 today. Both teams looking for their 7th win of the season. Florida State can control its own destiny all the way to Tampa. Right now, the destiny's a little bit in Georgia Tech's hands, although we got a lot of football left today. 5 wide receivers for Ponder on 2nd down and 13. Quick slant again, tipped and intercepted by Georgia Tech, and it's Cooper Taylor down the sideline. Taylor to the 5. Georgia Tech's 15th interception of the season. And Cooper Taylor, whose daddy Jim Bob was a former quarterback here, he looked like a running back when he got his hands on it all the way to the 5-yard line.
Also a true freshman.
It was another slant route. This time, Peterson's going to get his hand inside, pops it up, and as you mentioned, the backup free safety, Taylor picks it off. They're 3rd in the nation in interceptions right now.
1st and goal, Georgia Tech at the Florida State 4. And whistle stop play as Dwyer takes it to the end zone. But there's flags down.
Prior to the snap, false start, 64 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 1st down.
Andrew Gardner, an all-ACC tackle, a senior and a captain, with a false start negates a touchdown. And now Paul Johnson figuring out what the play is and sends it in the person of Greg Smith.
Georgia Tech has had 15 total plays on offense, and 13 of them have been run from Florida State side of the field.
1st and goal from the 9 now. Nesbitt almost to the 3-yard line. Todrick Verdell and Derek Nicholson on the tackle.
Derek Nicholson, after that last play when they were in motion, he was screaming and yelling because what's happened is these offensive linemen, when they come off and go to the backers in that second level, they end up holding him, and he was just going nuts.
Lucas Cox checks back in. He'll be a slot man as a receiver. 2nd down and goal outside the 3-yard line. The pitch, Smith, touchdown. Everybody getting in the act. Greg Smith from 3 yards out. Scott Blair for the point after. It's a 2-touchdown Georgia Tech lead on the number 15 team in the country. Greg Smith going to do a push-up or two after taking it on the pitch from heading to the corner and just got in. 24-10, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has scored 21 points in the last 4 minutes and 13 seconds. Wow.
With this boring, unexploding defense, or offense you're talking about?
That's a misconception everybody has about this offense. They have had a ton of big plays, and we've still got 9.5 minutes to go in the first half. Scott Blair's been a busy kicker. This one high and short. His leg might be getting tired. Patrick Robinson from about the 13. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Stacy.
Well, Brad, just a quick update on the Florida State mood after that last touchdown. Bobby Bowden himself went to all of his defensive players. He touched them and said, we got to keep fighting, guys, over and over. Now, the defensive players, they weren't so encouraging. Rather, they were getting on each other. They said, we got to wake up. So certainly the players have a sense of urgency right now, Brad.
No doubt about it. Of course, Georgia Tech got its 15th interception of the season. The last time Christian Ponder put it in the air.
Yeah, and for Florida State, that was their first turnover in the last 3 games.
Yeah, we haven't seen a turnover since we did the Miami game, the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Jermaine Thomas now joins Ponder in the Florida State backfield. And he's going to get the carry. And he's got a lot of room. Thomas, can they track him down? Jermaine Thomas to the 6-yard line. Michael Peterson saved a touchdown, but it's 62 yards in a hurry.
He's a true freshman that's got some speed, that's playing because of the injury to Anton Smith. Take a look over here on the left side, on the right side. Nice block there on Johnson.
You know, when they had that chat on the sideline, Stacy was talking about and said to wake up, I guess Jermaine Thomas got the message. Longest play from scrimmage this year for Florida State has them set up 1st and goal at the Georgia Tech 6. Sims just inside the 5. El Razaniabi is the guy that made the stop earlier. Question for you was, who was the most individual national awards of any player in college football history? Charlie Ward of Florida State. Not only won the Heisman Trophy, he won the Davey O'Brien, the Johnny Unitas, the Walter Camp, the Chevrolet Offensive Player of the Year, Scripps Howard, ACC Player of the Year, Sporting News, UPI, ACC, and Football News.
And the guy never played a down in the NFL.
Never played a down in the NFL. 2nd down and goal. Ponder with some pressure to the corner, touchdown.
Great throw.
Cedric Holloway. You like offense? Hang around with us for a while.
Well, I tell you what, you like offense. That was a perfect throw. Ponder put this place. The only guy that could catch it is Holloway. and he throws it right to the outside. There's a play action here. Watch Ponder. He's going to sit back, and he sees his fullback coming out. Watch where the throw is, folks. To the outside. No chance for the defensive man to get it. Touchdown.
Perfect throw. Christian Ponder with his 10th touchdown pass of the year. Gano's extra point is good. It isn't taking either one of these teams very long to put it in the end zone, is it? 24-17, and we've had 28 points scored in about the last 6 minutes of play. Another look, heading to break. Christian Ponder looking to the corner. Perfect toss, 24-17. We're going to give Bob back the lead car. He's whining about it for the last 3 days. He wants the 48 car, so.
Hey. We're going to go for second, Ness.
A long time ago, I had the 48 car. You guys stole it about 3 weeks in.
Kickoff was deep. Marcus Wright takes a knee, and Georgia Tech will start from the 20-yard line. Who knows what could happen here from the 20. We might have an 80-yard drive in 3 plays the way things have been going.
Well, the one thing we are sure about Georgia Tech, they're not going to change their game plan.
Nope.
I mean, this is what they do.
Just about everybody's touched it. A lot of different guys have scored with it. But Ponder just made it a 1-touchdown game with that scoring toss to Holloway.
You know, and both teams came in with defenses ranked in the top 20 in the nation.
I think their stats are not going to be as good on Sunday morning. And Georgia Tech might have taken too much time.
No, they called timeout.
And they avoided losing 5 yards, but they lose the timeouts. With 8:04 remaining in the second quarter, Josh Nesbitt will come over and talk to head coach Paul Johnson. Gives us a chance to get this date in college football history. In Trinidad, Colorado, the winningest coach in NCAA history was born back in 1926. 457 wins in 59 years. John Gallardi of St. John's, and Coach has got the weekend off to celebrate his birthday. Coach, if you're watching,
happy birthday.
You're one of our favorites and always have been. You've got Augsburg next week. You got to get back to work with those no-pad practices starting on Monday.
Isn't that great?
Yes, we could have played for him.
Yeah, that would have been fun. So now Georgia Tech, after the timeout, works from the 20-yard line. Nesbitt keeps it, and that time playing it very well. It was Marcus White. I guess Josh thought he didn't even hit the ground. And right now, I'm not sure if the officials don't disagree.
He was on a Florida State defensive man. It looked like Paul Griffin, 54, maybe. But they blew a whistle, though.
Josh just kind of rolled off and said, I think I'm going to keep going. Now he has a quick word with Coach Johnson. We get another look at it here as the keep by Nesbitt.
All right, here's the tackle. Is he on the ground?
He's not there, but maybe his knee hit a little bit before that, but it doesn't matter now.
Tell you what, the way Josh reacted, he certainly didn't think that his rear end had hit the ground on the backside, but
they can't review that. What are they going to do? I mean, the play's already whistled dead.
Hey, they could try.
Just don't get me started.
Look at this. 4 possessions, 4 scores.
Nesbitt straight drop back and throw and complete out to Demarius Thomas, and it's good for a first down. The Dogs in some trouble, and their arch rivals here in Atlanta in the lead. Nesbitt, maybe 2 yards. Derek Nicholson, the middle linebacker, made the stop. Want to send a shout out to the Clark County school system for calling off classes yesterday. They couldn't find enough substitute teachers for all the teachers that called in sick so they could go to the Florida-Georgia game. You gotta love that.
They're all Bulldog fans, huh?
I guess so.
A lot of school teachers, dog fans.
Second down and 8. Down to 6 minutes left in the half. Here's the pitch to Roddy Jones. Georgia Tech going to be stopped for no gain by Todrick Verdell, the outside linebacker. He played very, very well. ABC on Thursday at 10, 9 Central. All new Life on Mars. Next great cop shows arrive, starring Michael Imperioli, Harvey Keitel, Jason O'Mara. All new after Grey's Anatomy on Thursday. I love Harvey Keitel. I finally caught Life on Mars the other night.
Yeah, it was good. I've been watching it.
I live it.
Why watch it when you can live it? Third down and 8. Straight drop. Nesbitt the throw completes. Is it enough for the first down? I think so. Demarius Thomas, same pass play as earlier to pick up a first down. He's got another one.
Do you see how much room they give him, Grease? And it's man-to-man.
Well, this is why they give him so much, is because they've been running it the whole time. Look at this. They're playing on. This is the way Florida State has to play. Their corners have to play them one-on-one because the safeties have to be involved in stopping the run.
And I'm telling you, if they keep running that comeback route, sometime there's going to be a stop and go, and Nesbitt's going to go long.
That's the way you have to play this offense.
Dwyer across the 45 to the 46.
It's almost like having 7 or 8 or 9 guys in the box. The corners are on their own. You've got to cover those outside receivers, and we want to get 8 or 9 guys in the box to stop this triple option run.
Second down. Ricky Andrews looking on. Second down and 8. Lucas Cox now playing in the backfield behind Josh Nesbitt. And Luke gets the call straight ahead to about the 49. Talk about tech talk. We always talk about 8 and 9 in the box, Bob.
Yeah, well, it's an offensive term for the defense. Here are the defensive guys in the dark jerseys. There's 7 guys in there right now. We can run against that. But when they bring that 8th guy up there in the box, you can't run against that. You have to throw to the outside. And even 9 guys. Florida State needs to get the other safety up there. But in the box is an offensive term for the defensive front.
We thank our friends at EA Sports. They're not only in the box, they're in the game. That's what just showed you what Bob was talking about and what so many people do talk about. 8th play of the drive. On a third down, it's going to be about a yard shy for Lucas Cox. 3:22 and the clock winding down, and Georgia Tech's probably going to go for it. They went for it earlier in the ball game. They're in no man's land as far as trying a field goal. Halftime report. The guys will have all the scores and highlights for you in about 3 minutes. Remember, Tech went on 4th down earlier. Josh Nesbitt on a quarterback keeper got the yard he needed. Dwyer behind Nesbitt. Trying to draw Florida State offside is Josh Nesbitt. And they didn't bite.
Yeah, it's good discipline. Mickey Andrews' defense not jumping off sides. Good try by Coach Johnson.
Now Georgia Tech will send out the punting unit.
It's all right. We tried. Didn't work that time.
Not everything's going to work.
Yeah, we scored on our first 4 possessions.
That's
we can't
pretty good.
Score every time.
And there's nothing wrong with punting the ball.
There you go.
And this is Scott Blair's first punt. Tony Carter is a dangerous guy on the other end. High snap. Blair got it out of there under a heavy rush, and Carter with a fair catch has to dive for it at about the 16-yard line. We look at our Pacific Life game summary in the ball game today, and if you haven't joined us until this point, you've missed a lot of offense and a big play by the Georgia Tech defense. Their 15th interception of the season. That's Cooper Taylor, the freshman, who took it down to the 5-yard line. Jermaine Thomas came right back with a 62-yarder that set up Ponder's touchdown pass. That's what's happened just in the last couple of minutes. 24-17, Georgia Tech in front. Thomas back in there at the tailback spot behind Ponder, who's in the gun. Almost exact time of possession. A 1 touchdown difference. And here's Thomas again.
Same play.
Oh boy, he almost broke it.
It's the same play that he broke a little earlier.
Derek Morgan saved the day that time from his defensive end spot. If he wouldn't have tripped him up, he might have been gone again.
Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator / head coach in waiting over there on the sideline, making those calls.
Ponder going to throw this one away. Wise choice as he gets rid of the ball. And still 2:18 to work with and 2 timeouts. Aerial coverage of our game today, courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse Airship Bloomin' Onion 1. Bloomin' Onion Airship, a fan favorite every week on ABC and ESPN's college football telecasts. You talk about a nice day to fly. There's not a cloud in the sky.
There's Jimbo Fisher making the calls.
Jimbo has sent in Devontre Richardson into the Florida State backfield at quarterback. Last time it was a straight run all the way, and now I think maybe an illegal substitution. Flags fly in.
Substitution violation for 12 men in the huddle simultaneously.
You can't have 12 in the huddle.
That's what Jimbo Fisher was upset with on the sideline, because he knew it way before referee Childress saw it.
And Richardson's going to stay in the game.
And he's still hot on the sideline. When in doubt, scream at another assistant coach.
Or the freshman running back.
One of the two. Second down, 15. Here's Richardson running left all the way. He's got a seam. Richardson on the run. Cooper Taylor saved a touchdown.
That's why he's in there. Just to do that kind of thing.
39 yards in a hurry.
Well, you know, the thing you don't understand, Richardson in there, and they know he's going to run with the football. And here is a defense that really does a great job against the run because they face it every day in practice. But look at everybody gets blocked. Florida State has a man-on-man, and then Richardson just breaks it. What a great run.
All the way to the 36-yard line of Georgia Tech. Under 2 minutes in the first half. Florida State trying to tie the game up. Devontre stays in there. Blitz coming. He's going to throw. Maybe not. Not. Cedric Griffin, and the front wall collapsed on it.
That's the problem. A drop back pass. You got to have that young offensive line with all those true freshmen we talk about against that very good defensive line. You've got to hold up to allow him to get rid of it.
Now it's 2nd and 15 for Christian Ponder, who comes back in at quarterback. Back at the 41-yard line. Ponder, the slant has been working all day, and it works again. Short of the first down, but another toss to Carr. And Florida State wants a timeout. Pick up a 14. And while Christian, crazy games in the Big Ten today as well. Purdue and Northwestern, Michigan State all came from behind to win. Bobby says, you know, if I don't wear a headset, I'm only a phone call away.
I'm only as far away as I am from a headset. He's listening to what Jimbo Fisher and the quarterbacks are talking about. I talked to him before the ball game, and I said, Bobby, I said, it's kind of nice. Now you're letting all your coaches coach. And I says, you don't have to do a lot of work. He says, yeah, it's just kind of nice. He says, but I know what's going on.
Well, he's in his 33rd year on that sideline. 379 career wins, just behind Joe Pa. Ponder on 3rd and short, play action. Going to throw it off his back foot to the end zone, and it's almost intercepted by Morgan Burnett. And Morgan knows he should have had his 7th of the year right there, but at least he broke the play up.
Well, the guy who really caused this confusion was Derek Morgan, number 91, the guy that we talked about at the beginning of the show with 6.5 sacks. This guy gets off a block. He's on the left-hand side. Watch him. He gets off a block, and now right here, away from the block, and gets in Ponder's face. He makes Ponder throw the ball up in the air where the chance for Morgan Burnett to intercept it, which he doesn't do.
Porowski is a tight end. Burnett kind of shoved him away from him so he could try to make the catch. That was a good play by the defensive guy.
Gano's going to try a 45-yard field goal. The kick on the way, and Florida State has found themselves a weapon finally at kicker, huh?
Yes.
45 yards out, and that dropped. Would-be interception by Burnett. Just cost him 3 points. Bobby's had so much struggles over the years with place kickers, and he's got a good one right now in Gano, who draws Florida State within 4. Let's talk about our performers of the week. 4 of us get together every day and come up. Stacy, what do you got?
Felice, guys. I mean, out of Rosebud, Arkansas. How about 6 touchdowns, 424 yards, a national record for high schoolers?
That's crazy. Paul?
Well, I took Navy. They played our producer's school, SMU or SMU, and never threw a pass and beat them.
World Series winners. I mean, the Phillies. I mean, come on. How long has it been since they won one?
How about Mike Teal at Rutgers? He's getting booed by his own fans, and he goes out and rips off 6 touchdown passes last week. There's our performers of the week. Tell you what, the way this game's going, we all might have performers out of this one for next week.
Yep.
Florida State now with 10 unanswered points. The last 3 coming from that young man from 45 yards away. Just 45 seconds remaining in the half. Georgia Tech has 2 timeouts remaining. Halloween's not over yet. It's a weekend thing. Here's the kick. Marcus Wright at about the 2-yard line. Whoa. Marcus ran into a wall at the 21. Well, this one has been anything but a defensive struggle at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Grant Field in Atlanta. Both teams up and down the field. Really only one mistake, a tipped pass attempted by Christian Ponder that turned into a Georgia Tech interception and set Georgia Tech up for a short touchdown is the difference. Florida State, their highest ranking since '06. They have not won the ACC crown since '05. They're hoping to do that this year. They got a battle on their hands, though, here in Atlanta. Josh Nesbitt, quarterback draw. Trying to break tackles and almost got away from Todrick Verdell. And the clock works its way down to 30 seconds remaining in the half. And Georgia Tech trying to hurry up, trying to get their receivers back behind the line of scrimmage. Second down and a long 4. Nesbitt's going to keep it again, just trying to find a little bit of a hole.
Another quarterback draw. Yep.
That's going to be it for the half.
Yeah.
Boy, what a half it was, though. A lot of fun. We told you it'd be a fun one. I don't think we knew it was going to be this good. At halftime, Georgia Tech at home gets a rousing ovation from their home crowd as they've got the lead at the break. Georgia Tech on top, 24-10 as we get out of Stace.
Coach Johnson, why has your triple option been successful in the first half?
Well, we've had the quarterback's done a nice job getting the ball pitched outside. They're playing a lot of man-to-man, but we got a long way to go. We got some things we got to fix.
What do you got to fix in the second, Coach?
I'm sorry?
What do you got to fix?
Well, we got to fix the defense a little bit. We've given up way too many big plays, and there towards the end of the second quarter, they started stopping us a little better than they did early.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Well, that's a guy that knows how to make adjustments. He's certainly gotten all his offense in gear today, and at halftime, Georgia Tech leads by 4. Just about set to start the third quarter. Georgia Tech trying to surprise Florida State at home, 24-20. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler, BC Paul McGuire. We're here from Stacy in a second. Great first half. You like offense?
I love it. Yeah, but so many times when this happens, it turns around. It's a defensive struggle in the second half. We'll have to see.
Everybody's involved right now for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Almost everybody in that offense has touched the football, and I don't think it's going to change.
Well, we'll find out from Stacy right now. We're going down to her and Coach Bowden about how they're going to deal with it in the second half.
Coach Bowden, how do you feel the triple option hurt you guys the most in the first half?
It's tough. You know, you simply have to take care of your responsibility. And when you don't, it runs up and down that field. Now, if we don't do a better job of this guy take him, take him, take him, we'll be in trouble this half too.
All right, thanks.
We've been behind the half every game, so we're used to this.
Thanks, Coach.
Bobby wasn't quite done.
Yeah, I want to tell you something else, Stacey.
Yeah, we've been behind every half, so we'll see if they can come from behind on the road and win. We're 2 quarters away from one of these teams being that much closer to Tampa and one being a little bit farther away. Remember, Virginia lost to Miami earlier today, so Georgia Tech can move into a tie for first in the Coastal Division. Florida State's trying to hold on to a share of first in the Atlantic Division with Maryland idle until Thursday. That's how important the third and fourth quarters of this game are going to be. Graham Gano is set to kick off for Florida State. Georgia Tech will get the football first to start the half. Roddy Jones has had a couple of really nice kick returns for Georgia Tech today. He's back deep with Marcus Wright. Nice kick. It's going to be right way deep in the end zone. He'll take a quick knee. And that means Josh Nesbitt and the Georgia Tech offense will work from its own 20-yard line. Our Pacific Life game summary statistically in the first half in a 24-20 game, you might expect we're going to see some pretty big numbers, and we had them. Both teams 200 yards or more. And look at the yards per play, 7.4 a pop for each team. Yeah. That's incredible.
Only one turnover. That was the interception. Georgia Tech took over on the 4-yard line and just pushed it in for a touchdown.
So here we go. First snap of the third quarter. Jonathan Dwyer has a touchdown today. He's behind Josh Nesbitt. And this time Josh Nesbitt's going to keep it, but that was because somebody went the wrong way. Who knows? Maybe it was Josh. I don't know. But there was nobody home back there.
The quarterbacks very rarely do the wrong thing.
That's true. That's true.
You know, with the quarterback in the booth. Anyway.
Josh says, let's just calm down. It's just second down. No problem. The thing about Georgia Tech, it doesn't matter if it's long yardage. They're not afraid to run it in a long yardage situation.
This is a spread formation, but it's mainly to run the ball, not to throw it.
Nesbitt, the pitch. Dwyer got the corner, got the first down, and out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Boy, that was really close to being a forward lateral, wasn't it?
It would have been all right.
He was in the backfield.
He was on the backfield, so it could have been all right.
But what I do like is Dwyer, knowing where he is on the field. He knew how far he had to go to get a first down, and he did it.
Well, what Florida State is doing is what they ended up doing the first half, and that is assigning these guys man-to-man coverage and have 9 guys. I've got you, I've got you, I've got you, and the rest of these guys inside are going for the run.
And now Dwyer is off to the races. Jonathan Dwyer is gone. Touchdown.
Baby.
66 yards and another Georgia Tech touchdown.
You could have put another circle in there. It would have been Dwyer. Look at the middle of this thing open up. Everybody got a block. You take care of the linebackers, and all the other people are spread out. There are no defensive backs back there to stop him.
You might say that's probably Jonathan Dwyer's longest run of the year. That would be incorrect. He had an 88-yarder earlier this season. That one from 66. And now Scott Blair with a point after. And Georgia Tech early in the third quarter has struck again. He took one from 36. He's taken one from 66. Georgia Tech 31, Florida State 20. Kicking off for Georgia Tech. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC, presented in high definition from Atlanta. As you look at the skyline and a great shot of Bobby Dodd Stadium, Jonathan Dwyer saying that was a pretty good shot I just had. 66-yard touchdown run. Georgia Tech's longest scoring drive today took 4 minutes and 11 seconds. That one took 1:18. Dwyer did it for the touchdown. Patrick Robinson on the kick return from the 9. And Robinson streaking down the sideline out to about the 36-yard line. And we take you back to Jonathan Dwyer's second touchdown run of the day, Grease.
I watched the middle linebacker and the free safety. They are both going to come this way. The linebacker is going to get blocked. The free safety just runs himself out of the play. And right there, the free safety is running toward the pitch. First of all, you got to stop the dive, then the quarterback, and then the pitch, the triple option.
You know, the thing that goes unnoticed sometimes, Jonathan Dwyer is a lot faster than people think he is, too. Here's Ponder rolling to throw and almost intercepted by Burnett. He got his hands on it. He made a better play on it than Preston Parker, the receiver, did.
I like this kid Burnett. He's only a true sophomore. He's only playing what? He's playing in his ninth start. He's got 9 interceptions in his 20 games that he's played. He's a leading tackler on the team. He is the strong safety, and he's tied for first in the nation?
Yeah, and he can play any of the 4 positions in a defensive secondary.
I was going to say, Dave Womack, the defensive coordinator, says he's probably our best cornerback, too, even though he's playing safety. Second down at 10. Anton Smith. Smith got a crease. Burnett made the tackle, but Smith, I think, got the first down.
If you're wondering why you're not seeing much of Smith, he's got some ribs coming into the ball game, and they just kind of putting him in there and getting him in and out, using him where they can, and trying to get him through the ball game and not hurt his ribs anymore.
And it is a first down. They're going to move the chains. And Florida State with a first down at the 43-yard line. We're just 2 minutes into the second half, and Georgia Tech has already scored another touchdown. Florida State trying to answer. Smith stays in there behind Ponder. 4 wide receivers for Christian Ponder in the shotgun. Blitz coming. Ponder waited too long. Down he goes, and it's Daryl Richard, the captain of the defense.
Oh, yes, Daryl Richard just takes the guard and takes him all the way back to Ponder and then tackles Ponder. Ponder is looking downfield. Daryl Richard just said, oh, okay, you want to stand there? I'll tackle you. Watch this. He is number 95. Watch him. He's going to just take all the way back to Ponder and then tackle him. How easy was that?
Yeah, Ponder could have helped him out by moving around a little bit, but he was locked in on his receiver, who was trying to make a little stop-and-go move.
And now second down and 17. Look out. Got rid of the ball to Parker on the slant. Parker spins his way out. Positive yardage all the way to the 49-yard line. That time Georgia Tech tried a little stunt on the defensive line. Michael Johnson was a stand-up guy in the middle. You talk about Daryl Richard, who made that play 2 plays ago. He's coming off the field right now. You talk about what a guy that you want to be in college football. He graduated with honors in 3 years. He's the president of the Georgia Tech Student Athlete Advisory Board, and he's on the search committee to find a new president for Georgia Tech.
How good is that?
And he's going to get his master's in business administration, plus he plays the piano.
Not bad, huh? Just a normal football player.
Yeah, just a normal guy.
Third down, a slant again to Carr, and he held on. No, he didn't. Burnett let him have it right between the 1 and the 8, and the ball came out.
Burnett said, I've seen enough of these slants. I'm going to hit you.
Boy, I'm going to tell you what. This is, you talk about some perfect timing. Morgan Burnett is the guy, because this ball was caught. Carr had this ball.
Riley Jones will drop back deep awaiting Graham Gano's punt. So the big hit by Burnett forces the 4th down. Boy, the wide splits on this punting unit.
Yep.
Oh, Gano got a beauty, though. Riley Jones, fair catch, and he takes it right at the 10. 11 minutes, 11 seconds to go in an exciting ACC game in Atlanta here in the 3rd quarter.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy.
Some folks having fun at Zoo Atlanta, located in historic Grant Park, founded in 1889. Just had a baby panda born in August. That baby panda will be named on December 8th. That's a Chinese tradition, the 100th day. And I think Monday you can go online and you can put your put your name out there and see if maybe you'll be the one that names the panda. Go to zooatlanta.com. You can do that. Jonathan Dwyer only about a yard on that one, but he certainly has picked up a lot of yards on his previous 6 carries. Not having a bad day as far as rushes and yards per rush for Jonathan Dwyer today. He's got 123 yards on the ground.
Ness, you live in Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
You know this stuff. When they fired Chan Gailey and his pro-style offense and hired Paul Johnson from Navy with his spread triple option offense, what was the feeling in town?
Everybody said, how's that going to work in the ACC?
Yep.
Here's a pitch to Dwyer. Jonathan Dwyer puts his head down and got close to the first down. Might be just a little bit shy. Kenny Ingram made the tackle along with Myron Rolle. And Dwyer getting up a little slow, and I think he wants a breather, but he probably deserves one. This is the first series of the ballgame for Georgia Tech. That wheel rat out of the backfield on the pass completion. Then he went 36 yards for a touchdown in the first half. And moments ago here in the fourth quarter said goodbye to everybody. 66 yards on a scoring run. He's going to get a breather, and Lucas Cox will come in. And Luke Cox has a touchdown run today as well. Nesbitt trying to do it himself.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is really going to be close. What?
Jack Childress didn't think it was close at all, Paul.
Well, he might just set it down, move the chains, and then go back and measure it again.
You know, this Georgia Tech team, you got to give Paul Johnson some credit. They lost 16 starters from last year's team. They had 4 starters back on offense and 4 starters back on defense. Lost their 2 kickers that were pretty good, very good in fact.
Yes.
And he comes back and he's got this team going 6-2 right out of the gate.
Trying to go to 7-2 and looking impressive today. Here's Nesbitt, open field. Josh Nesbitt across the 40 and out to the 43-yard line. They lull you to sleep with Dwyer, Lucas Cox, whatever, and then all of a sudden you forget the quarterback.
You know what? It's almost like the linebackers are standing there and they're going, okay, he's got the ball. No, he doesn't have the ball. He doesn't have it. They're trying. You can't guess. You really, like Bob said, what you have to do is you have a man to take. You've got to be sure that you're there first before you go and look anywhere else. Because if you go someplace else, you're going to get burned.
Out to the 44 on the quarterback keeper. Dwyer now back behind Nesbitt. Georgia Tech first down. Nesbitt going the other way. Almost another first down. In fact, he might have it. And he was one guy away from maybe breaking that one. Darius McClure is injured on the play for Florida State. They're going to hustle out to have a look at him.
One of the receivers went down and threw a block on him.
.841. We've got a timeout here with the injury. We'll check on Darius McClure when we come back. Now Darius McClure went off under his own power, which was good to see. He was blocked by Marcus Wright on the play where he was shaken up. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech now has got second down and a yard to go. And Dwyer's got the yard and then some. Picked up a couple and a first down. Let's check in with Stacy.
Brad, just a quick update on Darius McClure. I've been told by team personnel that he felt like something popped out of place on that left leg, so he's been doing some stretchings. If he can go, he will go, Brad.
Well, when we saw the replay, it could have been either one of his legs, as you're going to see in the top, the right-hand part of your screen. There's the block by Marcus Wright, and your legs don't go that way.
Yeah.
But he went off on his own, which was good to see.
That was good.
First down, Georgia Tech. Threatening again here on the Florida State side of the field. Pitch to Jonathan Dwyer, and there was one guy that made a nice play in Jamie Robinson, or he might have had another big gainer.
Ness, when we sat down with Coach Johnson yesterday, you ever see anybody more confident in what he's doing? Because, I mean, the question was always from everyone, what are you doing? I mean, why would you run this kind of an offense that only one other team in the nation does?
Right.
But he never even hesitates. He's so confident about it.
Well, he had such great success with it as coordinator under Irk Russell at Georgia Southern, and then as head coach at Georgia Southern. He won 2 national titles down there. Took it to Navy, worked there. Everybody said can't work here, it's working here today. And to go back to what Bob said, the skepticism that met this city when he was hired, they said, well, you know what? It's going to be boring. There won't be any big plays. Even if he's successful running the ball. Well, they've run it for over 260 yards today, and certainly we've had enough big plays. Josh Nesbitt, that's not a good sign. That's one of the problems you have, is your quarterback's going to get hit in this offense.
That's exactly right. You know, when you run your quarterback, there's a chance of him being injured.
Jabo Shaw is warming up, and he's a true freshman out of right here at the north end of Atlanta, Flowery Branch,
look how
where
far,
he went to high school.
Look how far they put their hands under the center.
Josh Nesbitt has had a great game today, running and the very few times he has thrown, and he's had some injury problems earlier this season, and Jabo Shaw came in and was the starter against Duke and had a big game throwing the ball. He's pretty efficient in this offense because he ran something similar in high school. Josh is up, but certainly Jay Shoup attending to him there and limping off. That might be the end of the day for Josh.
You know, as we were asking Paul Johnson yesterday about the quarterback, about how many times he takes a hit, he said, well, you know, he only gets hit probably 15 times a game. I'm thinking, really?
Here it is again.
That's a lot.
Oh, and he got his own man, I think. I think it's the back of his lineman's knee brace that maybe is what hurt him.
Jabo Shaw has been played in 3 games and started that one, as you mentioned, Brad.
He comes in a tough spot, 3rd down, a big one here. And he fumbled. And Florida State's got it.
How quickly the momentum can change with the injury to a quarterback.
Everett Brown caused the fumble. Kendrick Stewart recovered it.
Well, he didn't have a chance. As he turned, he got hit. I mean, they just didn't block anybody in the front of the line. Just watch. He's going to make a turn. And when he makes a turn, he's going to get whacked. Turn, whack.
Nobody blocks Everett Brown. He's right on top of him. Didn't matter who the quarterback was. If Nesbitt would have been there, he would have fumbled this ball. You got to block the defensive end.
Especially that guy.
Everett Brown, one of our impact players, defensive lineman of the week in the ACC for what he did last week. And he comes up with a huge play there for Florida State. Ponder might want a big one here after the change of possession, but he's going to be sacked instead. Vance Walker and Michael Johnson.
I like the call. Turnover near the 50. Try for a big play. But that young offensive line we've talked about all day for Florida State cannot keep out that aggressive defensive line, and he doesn't have time to throw it.
Georgia Tech, 3 sacks today. Everybody getting in the act. Johnson and Morgan and Walker and Richard, the front 4. 2nd down and 12. Jermaine Thomas, and he's got a big hole and lightning speed, dragged down from behind. Cooper Taylor shoestringed him. Looks like he might be just a little bit shy of the 1st down. ESPN's coverage of college football primetime continues tonight. A couple old rivals will get together. Number 4 Oklahoma taking on Nebraska. College football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels at 8 o'clock Eastern time tonight. Well, a huge 3rd down as you look in on Bobby Dodd Stadium. And you look at Sam Bradford's numbers, and he'll increase those tonight, I'm sure, against the Cornhuskers. Ponder gets the 1st down.
Well, Brad, you know, you can pick up those 1st downs. It's those 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15. That was the 5th time today that they've been 3rd and 3 or less.
You know, they're coming in almost 50% on their 3rd down conversions, 8th in the country for Bobby Bowden Seminoles. 3 out of 7 they are today, with 5:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter. They're trying to take advantage of the fumble by Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's first miscue of the day. And now Devontre Richardson at quarterback. It's just a straight run to the left every time, it seems. Now he cuts back spins his way to about the 42-yard line. Let's get a Florida-Georgia update. Here's Matt Weiner. Back to live action here. Marcus Sims for a couple. Isn't it ironic that Matt Weiner said Matt Stafford's been roughed up in the Florida-Georgia game. Josh Nesbitt's been roughed up and taken out of the Georgia Tech game, and there he is on the sideline, and they're working apparently on his right knee or lower leg, maybe his ankle. Looks like maybe retaping.
Yeah,
that might mean he'll be back out there.
I think they're retaping that ankle. I think he had ran into his own offensive lineman and twisted his ankle there.
Big down for Georgia Tech. 3rd and 5. And they may not keep him out of field goal range.
Parker in motion. Ponder, play action. He lost the ball, and Georgia Tech has got it. Derek Morgan.
Oh, Johnson hit him.
Michael Johnson, Bob. I mean, he came in and didn't pay any attention to any kind of run, any kind of fake. And Ponder, he just really didn't see him. And Michael Johnson just took a beeline right at the quarterback. Didn't matter what Ponder was going to do. He was going to hit him.
Did we tell you about Georgia Tech's front four? And they were eating up the quarterback right there.
Bobby Bowden said, what about those 2 defensive ends? Here's Johnson over here. Number 93. He's not fooled. And Morgan, the other defensive end, he recovers it.
At midfield. Shaw will keep it. Get his feet wet a little bit. The freshman goes for 3 yards to the 47. You see those guys having fun on the sideline. Those are the 2 defensive ends. Here's another look. It'll be Johnson, 93, that makes the hit on Ponder. And it'll be 91, Morgan, the baby of the group, cleaning up.
They had Parker open. He was coming across the field. But it was just a great play by Michael Johnson. Hasn't done much today, but he got that big play.
Georgia Tech has run the ball 17 straight times. Make it 18. Shaw to the 42. A pickup of 5 more. 3rd down and a couple upcoming.
Wasn't that my pick for the team, Navy, when they didn't throw a pass last week?
That's right.
Well, they have not thrown, as you said, they have not thrown a pass in this second half. They don't have to.
So 3rd down and a couple for Georgia Tech. They have survived their turnover by getting it right back with their defense. Shaw hasn't given it off to Dwyer on this possession yet. Still hasn't. And he might have the 1st down. Tough little son of a gun.
Yeah.
Dabo Shaw's only 6 feet, about 190 pounds, sopping wet. And I think he's got the 1st down.
Freshman, how about him just sitting over there on the sideline, enjoying the ball game.
Yeah.
Now he's in there getting his brains beat out.
Well, the great views today of Bobby Dodd Stadium in downtown Atlanta, provided by the Outback Steakhouse Airship. Bloomin' Onion won. Paul Hino, our captain, at the controls. Fan favorite, the Outback Steakhouse at all the ABC and ESPN college football games. Cap, thanks for being along with us. Great pictures of Atlanta and Grant Field. At the 39. Ooh, wicked hit Shaw took that time. He might not want to keep it every time.
I'd give that one off, that one.
Well, this is where Nesbitt, the Miss Nesbitt, is in the decision making. You know, they don't throw many passes. 80% of this offense is run, only 20%. And you don't have to read coverage. All the receivers are just man-to-man. But where you have to make reads is not in the passing game, but in the running game. When the fullback comes up from the triple option, you look at the defensive end, and do you give it to him or do you not? Do you pull it out and go down the line? So decisions in the running game, not the passing game.
2nd down and 10. This time Dwyer gets the handoff and picked up a couple. That exchange between quarterback and be it A-back or B-back, they call it match point as to when they're holding and who's going to take it, who's going to keep it.
Well, the B-back is basically a fullback. He's the guy that lines up behind the quarterback. And Paul was telling us yesterday that the quarterback just comes out and he's looking at the end. It's the fullback's job to match up with him. If it's a little tighter or a little wider, he has to match up with him.
3rd down. This is the longest 3rd down for Georgia Tech today. Shaw, he's going to be knocked down by Bud Thacker.
this offense has gone nowhere since Nesbitt has gone out of the game.
Well, one thing I liked about what Paul Johnson was saying to us, he said, look, with us, our football team, if we have to stand back there and throw the ball against the team and try to win a game by throwing a ball, we're going to get killed. We have to run the ball, and this is all we do, or basically all we do.
Running the third quarter out. It'll be 4th down, Georgia Tech, to start a 4th and very important final quarter in Atlanta. We played 3. Both teams looking for win number 7. Georgia Tech's got the advantage right now, 31-20, Yellow Jackets. This is not a sight you want to see if you're a Georgia Tech fan in a game that's still very much in doubt as the 4th quarter is about to begin. Josh Nesbitt heading to the locker room, and Stacey Dales, I know you were right on top of it down there.
Yes, Brad, absolutely. It's the right foot, and they took the tape off. They put the tape back on, and he did a couple of strolls up and down the sideline. He shook his head as if, no, I can't go. They told me he was doubtful, but as you guys saw, he's gone to the locker room for further examination, and I don't suspect he'll be back in this game, Brad.
And that puts a lot of pressure on Jabo Shaw, the freshman quarterback. Georgia Tech's going to try to add some points. Scott Blair has lined up, and meanwhile, timeout taken by Florida State, and it'll get us a chance to get an update from New York.
Well, Brad, thanks a lot. SportsCenter right now, powered by Vizio. Tim Tebow having a terrific game. Already has 2 touchdown runs, and this a 44-yard pass to Lewis Murphy as Florida is starting to put away the Georgia Bulldogs. 28-3 to score right now with about 4:30 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah.
He's in the game.
Well, that's why he called timeout.
Bobby Bowden on the Florida State sideline, having taken a timeout as Georgia Tech had lined up for a long field goal attempt. You got to wonder if this is going to be a quick kick, or if they're going to try a field goal from this far out.
They also had Booker in the ball game, which was a 3rd-string quarterback.
Well, Scott Blair's career long is 39 yards. They're asking a whole bunch of him here. Now, if he should hit this, how big would that be? Because Georgia Tech's quarterback is out of the game. Scott Blair from 54, and it is a pooch punt to the far side, and he did it beautifully.
Yes, he did. Florida State does not have anybody back, just in case of something like that. It was in the prime area for a gimmick. A snap to the kicker and punt it, or a play action gimmick or something like that. Good play.
ABC Thursday, all new Life on Mars. Next great cop show's arrived. It'll follow an all new Grey's Anatomy Thursday at 10/9 Central on ABC. Well, you can't do it any better than that. Scott Blair, who not only punts, place kicks, kicks off, and just quick kicked or pooch punted down to the 1-yard line. And now it's going to get noisy for Christian Ponder and company on that end of the field. Student body left. Ponder in trouble. Hit as he throws by Brad Jefferson.
You can't hold on to that ball that long down there in the end zone, Grease. I mean, if you're going to do this and just stand back there and hold on to the football and wait for your guy to clear, look how long Ponder's standing there. You don't have that much time, son.
Actually, Jefferson was covering the back, but when he saw the back was blocking, then he was a free blitzer.
That's a nice spot for a quarterback, huh, Grease, right there?
Oh, yeah, we love that, especially when you get all the noise.
That run didn't go anywhere. Vance Walker and the rest of the front wall collapses, and it's going to be 3rd down and long. 4th quarter here in Atlanta. Georgia Tech trying to go to 7-2 and put themselves back in the hunt for the ACC championship. Florida State needs to come from behind to have a chance to hold their spot atop the Atlantic. And with a 3rd down and long coming up and a long winning streak against Georgia Tech, 3rd and 8.
thing I like down there, Brad, especially on first down, is roll out to the wide side of the field where you don't have to worry about the pass rush.
Ponder will take the snap in his own end zone. In trouble. Trying to find a way to get away and got it. What a throw.
Big play.
And catch out to Rod Owens.
Big play. Instead of punting from the back of your end zone, Florida State now gets another set of downs and an opportunity to move down the field, and if not score points, at least get field position.
And give Ponder credit for not only rolling away, but the offensive line didn't hold in the end zone, or that would have been a
Well,
safety.
that's a good point. And that's what I said right there. Rolling out where the defensive backs have to cover their men for a lot more than 3 or 4 seconds.
On 3rd and 8, they got 11. First down, Seminoles. Smith trying to take it to the wide side, and Morgan Burnett just stood him up. Boy, that kid's a football player, isn't he?
Well, the thing about Morgan Burnett is as we said earlier, he's a leading tackler on this football team. He's got 6 interceptions. But the thing about him is he's got great field position and closing speed. He saw the sweep coming. He got himself in a football position to make the tackle. I mean, this kid is really good.
No gain on the play, so 2nd down and 10.
That secondary of Georgia Tech, they're missing 2 of their starters. Ward Daniels and Reese are not in there.
5 wideouts for Ponder, and still a lot of noise down on that end of the field. Going to throw the ouch. Oh. Breaking away, but then getting broken up is Taiwan Easterling.
That was Mario Butler, number 2, and the first lick on. I'll tell you.
Morgan Burnett, his brother Cap was a star for the Georgia Bulldogs of all things, so it's a split family as they call it down here. Whoa, those are just some of the hits he's made today, including this one on Smith a moment ago. And he is a player. 3rd down and long again for the Noles. Can Christian Ponder pull one out of his back pocket as he did the last time they had 3rd and 8? Timeout taken. They were running out of time. There was no more time to ponder. It was time to snap it. 11:58 to go in Atlanta. Georgia Tech's got anybody that even said, Coach, I played some DB in high school in there right now on this 3rd down and 8.
So 3-2, 6 defensive backs.
Ponder hit as he throws, and Parker made the catch. That's the 2nd time on 3rd and 8. Christian Ponder's delivered. Flags down. An all-important call right here. Holding against the Seminoles.
Oh, man, oh, man. First of all, I couldn't believe that Ponder got this ball off.
Tony Clark let him have it.
Offense. Penalty takes the ball half the distance to the goal line. Repeat 3rd down.
What did he say, 77?
That's Sanders.
Take a look over here. I think he said 77. Oh, yeah.
That's
no
pretty much
question.
holding.
Yeah. He calls it right here, too.
Now it's 3rd down and a mile for Ponder.
That's a freshman offensive tackle making a big mistake.
Ponder at his own goal line. Loads and goes down the middle, and Burnett almost had it. Incomplete. 2nd time or 3rd time today he's had his hands on a football.
If Jackson hadn't hit it, it's friendly fire. His own man hit him. Or else he would have had that one.
Oh, man, I tell you what, it was really true. Morgan Burnett read it perfectly, read the quarterback's eyes, and his own man knocks him off the ball.
And now it's going to be a tough spot for Graham Gano. He's almost at his own end line right now to punt. High kick. Roddy Jones, fair catch. 46-yard line.
Great kick.
46-yarder and a lot of hang time.
Yeah. This defense for Georgia Tech has been good almost all day long.
Morgan Burnett's been sensational all day long.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy. ESPN College Football on ABC, brought to you by Best Buy, you happier. Powered by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. And Allstate, proud sponsors of college football. Are you in good hands?
Frank Gordy founded the varsity in 1928. It's been an institution ever since, originally called the Yellow Jacket. We walked some dogs yesterday and had an FO.
An FO.
Frosty Orange.
There you go.
You had a little bit of it, didn't you?
It was good.
They didn't get any strings. I wanted a bag of strings. Those would be French fries. And a PC. I wanted a PC yesterday. That's a plain chocolate. And they give you a cup of ice with the plain chocolate if you like your milk a little bit colder.
And a yellow dog is a mustard.
That's with what? Mustard.
And
red
dog.
Ketchup.
Are you trying to get some free food?
What, didn't cost us anything yesterday, did it? Or did you buy? I buy. I thought one of you did.
He
I wasn't
here.
sure.
It didn't cost him anyway. You know, some of us have free things other places.
Well, we got a great ball game today, too. Georgia Tech in front. Jabo Shaw, the freshman, pitches to Jonathan Dwyer. Dwyer trying to get the corner. It's going to be run out in front of the Florida State bench after a pickup of just a couple. Now, obviously, time is of the essence for Florida State as well, because they're 2 scores down with 10:38 to play.
Paul Johnson going into his bag of tricks. His starting quarterback is out. He has his freshman backup quarterback, Jabo Shaw, in the ball game. He has run some plays with him earlier that didn't do anything at all, so he's trying to get him outside, run something where he can either run himself around the end or pitch it on the option.
The last time Georgia Tech threw a pass, there was 5 minutes left in the second quarter. We've got 10 minutes left in the ball game. Well, they might have been thinking about passing there, but timeout taken by Georgia Tech. And Paul Johnson will get in the faces of his players. That's been something that everybody has noticed in this city, is his sideline can get a little fiery, and he is ripping everybody.
You like to see that.
Right now.
I like to see that.
They took so long to get the play going.
Well, they're not running the plays the right way that he wants them run.
Well, it looks like when he walked out of the field, now he's at midfield, and he walked up to the offensive lineman and got in their face.
Well, he got in Jabo Shaw's first, and then he worked his way around the huddle.
This is the youngest. This is the youngest team in the ACC.
75 players are either freshmen or sophomores.
They had a great recruiting class last year, and there's Bobby going down and trying to fire up his guys.
So both coaches are coaching, and one with a lot of emotion with a headset on the Georgia Tech sideline. And as Paul said, they're almost to the middle of the field before they're going to come back. That was Calvin Booker, number 18, you saw. That's always an option as well, the senior, who's probably the best thrower of any of the Georgia Tech quarterbacks.
He's not much of a runner. He's more of a drop-back thrower.
Well, let's see whatever Paul Johnson dialed up, if it works. On third down and a long 6. Shaw trying to cut back in the middle, and he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe he did, but no gain anyway. The only thing they're going to gain here is using some clock before they punt. So we take a look at our ESPNU All-State Standings review. Texas and Texas Tech both undefeated. They get together in Lubbock tonight on ABC. Alabama beat Arkansas State. Penn State has the week off. We'll see them at Iowa next week. And Oklahoma and Nebraska on ESPN tonight. You go down the list, Georgia's going to fall, it appears, as Florida has been putting it on the Dogs today down in Jacksonville.
Getting a little revenge from last year, you think?
Yeah, I guess so. The last time Scott Blair punted, he put it down to the 1-yard line. He'd love to do that again. Burt Reed's going to return this one, though, from the 17. Reed weaving his way, ran into his own man, or he might have had a bigger return out of it. Got about 13 on the return out to the 30-yard line. Very important series on offense for Florida State is coming up. Part of the Georgia Tech offense there on the sideline, including the freshman quarterback, Jabo Shaw, with a headset on. Meanwhile, it's Florida State's turn offensively, and they need to score. Ponder Deep out, too high, intended for Preston Parker.
Remember the last time Florida State had the ball? They kicked from their own. They punted, and then Georgia Tech couldn't do anything and punted back to them. Look where they've got the ball now. They've got it on the what? The 30-yard line instead of back on the 5 or 10-yard line. So they gained about 25 yards in the exchange of punts.
Those are some of those hidden yards. Derek Morgan coming off favoring something. Robert Hall's going to take his place. Greg Carr has been shut out this half at wide receiver for Florida State. They threw a lot of slants to him earlier in the ball game. Now they're going over the middle, and it's complete. I don't know that he got a first down, Taiwan Easterling, but he's awfully close. Our Dr. Pepper ACC update today. Miami in overtime beat Virginia, which did Georgia Tech a huge favor. Wake Forest leading Duke in the fourth. Likewise, Clemson leading Boston College in the fourth quarter in a topsy-turvy 2008 in the ACC.
Big win for Miami.
Huge win for Miami. And now they're in the hunt. They're 3-2 in their division. Georgia Tech trying to climb back up in there with Virginia having lost. They can do so if they beat Florida State here. Here's a big opening for Thomas. He's been a thorn in the side of the Georgia Tech defense. Flags down on the play as Thomas might have a first down negated if it's a holding call.
Usually the players know, and Georgia Tech is not moving back up to the old line of scrimmage.
97 defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
Wouldn't you know, it's the guy that came in to take Derek Morgan's spot, Robert Hall, the sophomore. And there's Morgan on the sideline, trying to work something out. I don't know if it's his right shoulder or his elbow, but he came off kind of having that arm dragging a little bit.
Yeah, his legs are still moving pretty good. Get him back out there.
First down for the Noles at their own 48-yard line. 8 minutes left. Ponder throws complete, and that is Greg Carr, who hadn't had a catch until that one here in this half. Well, the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues with the Dixie's 500 in Texas on ABC tomorrow. Coverage starts with NASCAR Countdown at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Jimmy Johnson trying to wrap things up.
What do they got? They're going to Texas and then Phoenix.
Going to Texas.
And then Homestead. And then they're going to crown me champion.
I think Jimmy can put it in neutral, can he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he can.
Hunter gives off to Thomas, and Thomas got only about a yard. Tripped up. And it's going to bring up third down.
What I don't understand is, you know, the Florida State, they only have one timeout left. The clock's going inside 7 minutes. They're down 11 points. They're just walking around, Reese. They're not like they need to hurry up and get some things done.
You're right,
They're
Paul.
11 points down.
There's no urgency right now, and they look confused as well. And I think they're going to bring out Devontre Richardson into the huddle in a hurry. Jimbo Fisher's looking up there going, by the time he got Ponder off the field, they're going to have to hustle up to the line.
Yeah, you're telling the other team we're going to run the ball when you bring...
And probably to the left.
Richardson.
And Georgia Tech took a timeout. So Georgia Tech's only got one timeout left, and we're down to 6:45 to play. If you can count quickly from the blimp, that's 12 guys in whites. That's too many. And that's why Tech took a timeout. Otherwise, they'd have been penalized, and it would have been a free first down for Florida State.
You hate to use that timeout, but you don't want to give them a free first down right here.
Third down and 3. Here comes a blitz. Richardson going to throw back, and he overshot his receiver. Well, that's the first time they've let him put it in the air, and now it's fourth down.
That was good coverage by Clark, the linebacker. Now what do you do?
Well, you pretty much got to go, don't you?
You got to go for it. It's too long for a field goal, even though Gano has made, what, 4 50-yard field goals in the last 4 games?
Yep.
Ponder's back.
Florida State has only tried on fourth down once, 4 times this year. They've converted 1. They need to get to the Georgia Tech 42-yard line. Ponder back in there. This might be the ball game. Quick throw and catch, first down. Down to the 39-yard line of Burt Reed.
It tells you something. Who does Ponder go to when you need to pick up the first down? The little guy, Reed.
Speaking of Reed, Rashad Reed is the injured Yellow Jacket. It was Reed on Reed.
Yeah, well, that was friendly fire. He got hit by a linebacker because Reed ducked.
Our great aerial shots today, courtesy of our friends at Outback Steakhouse, proud sponsor of the Outback Bowl. Bloomin' Onion One Airship, fan favorite at all our ABC and ESPN college football games. Thanks for the great shots from a crystal clear blue sky over Atlanta this first day of November.
Boy. Another defensive back.
They're out of guys.
Yeah. The 28 we're looking for. Oh, right there.
You're right.
The other Reed that caught the ball, the Florida State Reed, got down. He's only 5'11", 165. It's a good thing he got down.
Cedric Griffin
yeah, the
is the guy. 8th play of the Florida State drive. Richardson back in there at quarterback from the 39. He drops back and he wants to throw, and he's got a man open. Caught. Touchdown. Preston Parker, a 39-yard strike from Devontre Richardson. They might want to let him throw a little bit more when he's in there.
But when he comes in, Brad, the defense says, run, 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 all the way. Now, straight down is a great throw. Parker sees it all the way and makes the play. The freshman, Taylor, can't make the play this time. Touchdown, Seminoles.
And now the Seminoles are going to go for 2 to try to make it a field goal ball game with 6:04 remaining.
They work on these plays every day, all week. You've got about 3 or 4 two-point plays in your packet.
Jermaine Thomas will flank Ponder in the shotgun for 2. The fade to the corner. Georgia Tech going to be penalized. Trying to loft it over there to Carr.
And out there covering on the outside is Cedric Griffin, who is number 54, is a linebacker.
Pass interference, number 2 of the defense. That penalty is declined. The try is successful.
Well, that was Butler, but again, out there was Griffin.
You got 6'6", going up against 6 foot. So you got 6 inches. Oh,
how does he make that
just
catch?
Jumps up with long arms and makes the play. And that's why they're doing this. You wonder why they're doing this, one of these things, because what Carr can do right there. He's got 2 guys around him. He jumps up, makes the catch.
Well, he knows how to use that 6'6" height.
It's just the advantage as far as being able to use your height to attack the ball a lot sooner, and at the same time you can also use your height to kind of shield off defenders, because being a basketball player, a former basketball player, you kind of use that.
The only wideout in Florida State history to match his height was Weegee Thompson. Weegee Thompson was likewise, like Greg Carr, 6'6", but this is what 6'6" can do to you. Wow.
That was a tough catch. He had to fight off the defensive back, stay away from the linebacker that was coming out there.
The game is down to a field goal. 6:04 remaining, and Georgia Tech starting quarterback in the locker room. It's going to be a pressure-packed series for Jabo Shaw after Georgia Tech gets this kickoff. Marcus Wright from about the 2. Spins his way out close to the 25. Let's check it. The Florida State fans who made the trip from Tallahassee getting noisy now. Georgia Tech trying to cling to a 3-point lead. Jabo Shaw to throw, and he's going deep for Thomas. And it's intercepted by Patrick Robinson.
This is outstanding coverage, but the ball is thrown short.
You're right, Paul. I mean, This is the first pass of the day. You got your big receiver out there on a little guy. Now you want to throw the ball up high and to the outside, not low and inside. That's the only place your guy can't catch it. You got a 6'6", 230-pound guy. Throw it high and outside where he can use his body to shield the defensive back from the ball.
You don't want to turn your back on Georgia Tech yet. Here comes Florida State again. And it's Thomas out to the 47-yard line.
Now, Ness, just to go back on one other thing with Georgia Tech. Since Nesbitt went out, the starting quarterback, they have gained a total of 11 yards.
Well, remember what Bobby Bowden said to Stacy on his afterthought coming out at halftime.
We have been behind
We've
at halftime
been behind
before.
the last 2 ball games, and we come back and win them.
Second down and a long 3. Thomas now in an I backfield behind Ponder, but Ponder is hit. Down he goes. Cedric Griffin. Michael Johnson.
Grace, this is one of those deals where you're the quarterback and somebody forgets to block the middle linebacker. Now the back was supposed to come up and block him, Jermaine Thomas, but he doesn't get there because Cedric Griffin was there too quick.
It's a good call by Dave Womack, the defensive coordinator.
5 sacks today by Georgia Tech. That's the most Florida State's given up in a single game all year. Third down and 11. Ponder in trouble again. Flags down. It's going to be a holding call probably, but he's got a man out there, and it's almost intercepted again by Mario Butler.
Sanders, number 77, a true freshman, the right tackle for Florida State, was holding. And he was holding Derek Morgan. And he had to, otherwise Derek Morgan.
Holding 77 of the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
And that's the way to do it. 4th down. It would have been 3rd and 21. As it is, it's 4th and 11.
Yeah, you got to punt. You got to punt the ball away.
Each team only 1 timeout remaining. Florida State thinking things over, walking to the sideline. We welcome those of you who've been watching another game. We're in Atlanta. An ACC battle that has been up and down the field for Paul Johnson's Ramblin' Wreck and the Florida State Seminoles, who trail by 3 with 4:17 remaining. Graham Gano into punt. Georgia Tech may have fallen into the neutral zone. It still will be 4th down. Daryl Richard fell out of his stance. Both sides pointing at each other.
Well, doesn't mean much. It's only 5 yards.
Dead ball foul. Offside 95 of the defense in the neutral zone. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
Reminder coming up in about 4 minutes, barring an overtime. Near the conclusion of our game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevy will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Well, 4th down now and 6. It's a nail biter.
The offense is coming back out.
Florida State's going to try to go for it.
They only got 10 seconds to get the ball snapped. 8, 7.
Ponder under center. Quick drop. The slant's been there all day, and he got it again.
1st down.
Burt Reed on the catch.
Holy camole.
The drive stays alive. That might have been the last time Florida State would be able to touch it if they didn't get a 1st down. But they did. And they've got a 1st down at the Georgia Tech 46-yard line. 4 minutes left.
You don't even understand what Daryl Richard was even thinking about going offside. I mean, what are you doing? They're punting the ball. Just stay there.
He's the smartest guy on the team. He's the smartest guy in the stadium.
Up until that play.
1st down, Florida State. Ponder. The deep out, trying to make a diving catch. Did he make it? Parker, yes, he did. And it's a pickup of 11 more. Let's check in with Stacy.
Yeah, just a couple things, guys. Just for your information, Bobby Bowden made the call on that 2-point play. I just received word from them. And Gano, according to team officials, says he can go 55 yards if need be today, guys.
That means he's in field goal range right now to try to tie the game. But we still have 3:27 and the clock winding. Remember, Florida State's got just one timeout remaining.
Okay, now you're thinking, all right, don't turn it over. I've got the 3 in my pocket. Let's see if we can get 7.
They'll hand it off. Jermaine Thomas. Georgia Tech can't get him stopped until he gets to the 28-yard line.
I like that kid.
Our Pacific Life. The game summary of this one. It's hard to summarize everything that's happened. We've had so many big plays in the ball game. Jonathan Dwyer included. He had 2 touchdown runs today, 36 and 66-yard romp. That was early in the third quarter. But Devontre Richardson, not that many minutes ago, on that pass to Parker. And now Florida State, with the interception, has it back and driving into Georgia Tech territory. Thomas again. They can't bring him down until he's all the way to the 18-yard line.
I like that young man.
Getting his chance because Anton Smith's got a bad elbow and bad ribs. And the freshman out of Jacksonville has really ripped off some big runs today.
Can you just believe that you play so well? I mean, if you look at the score, defensively, Georgia Tech was playing so well. Offensively, they were going crazy when they had Nesbitt in the game, the quarterback. They lose him. Now they get back on defense and they make one dumb mistake.
First down just inside the Georgia Tech 19. They come with a blitz. Thomas taking it left side. Thomas breaking tackles. He's got it, first and goal. Cedric Holloway, number 42, led the way.
I really like, you talk about quarterbacks. Here's something you wouldn't do, Grease. Ponder getting the block. Look at that block.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
You talk about an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter, and is there a jinx on Georgia Tech playing Florida State? They've lost 12 straight to them.
Yep.
Smith back in there now. First and goal at the 7. And it's Smith just wrapping both hands around that football.
Yeah.
Got down to the 4-yard line.
Georgia Tech came into the ball game 3rd in the nation in takeaways. They had 22 at the time. They've gotten 2 more here today. What they need now is a takeaway.
They're going to need a miracle to not at least go to overtime, but Florida State's thinking about winning it right here.
I don't think Florida State's sitting there thinking about, let's tie this thing up.
That's what I just said, Paul.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. There's no way that they would ever do that. But they're letting the clock run down and hoping they can score the touchdown.
Marcus Sims in the backfield. Gets the call. He fumbled. Georgia Tech trying to cover it. Who's got it? Georgia Tech does. From the Prophet Roberts. They need a turnover. They got one.
Oh, boy.
Well, that was helmet on the ball.
Yeah, it's just...
Cooper Taylor, the freshman, put his helmet right on the ball, and Georgia Tech's got the football with 45 seconds left.
You know what here is Reed gets this ball, but look what he did. He almost makes a mistake. He went to pick it up instead of falling on the ball. Look at this. Watch. He's going to try to pick it up, and he loses the ball. Then, fortunately, the ball's hit right back into his hands, and he gets it.
How about a true freshman safety making the play of the day?
Yep.
I mentioned earlier, here's a call.
After video review, the call on the field is confirmed. There is a fumble, touchback, first down.
Georgia Tech with the ball at the 20.
That's how Georgia Tech has made their living.
There's the guy that made the play of the game. I mentioned his daddy, Jim Bob, was a quarterback here. No offense, Jim Bob. You probably never made a play as big as your kid just did.
He's put his helmet right on the ball. Sims did not cover up the football. He was running through that line at the 3-yard line like he was out in the middle of the field.
Remember, Florida State has only one timeout left. Georgia Tech, if their freshman quarterback can take more than one snap, the hex is over. There's one knee. Let's take a look at our Best Buy playbook, and we'll bring in the Prophet Robert again.
Well, earlier in the game, this is the dive. Look at the two defensive back, the one defensive back, the one linebacker. The defensive back comes this way at snap. The linebacker goes the other way, and they give it to the fullback, Dreyer, right up the middle. Dreyer goes 45, 50 yards for the touchdown. That's because the two defensive guys split and didn't hang in the middle.
The last time Georgia Tech beat Florida State, I was wearing bell bottoms in college. 1975.
Wow.
Bobby Bowden has never lost to a Georgia Tech football team. I think you can tell by that sideline that 40 seconds from now there's going to be a little bit of bedlam at Grant Field and Bobby Dodd Stadium. This will put Georgia Tech back in the ACC title picture. It might take Florida State out of it. Today's Chevrolet players of the game: Jermaine Thomas, big career high day for him. Jonathan Dwyer, likewise for Georgia Tech. In recognition of their efforts, Chevy will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Georgia Tech is a knee away from an upset of the number 15 team in the country.
It's November.
It's November. That's all you have to say. And now Georgia Tech at 7-2 under their first-year head coach. Their first win over the Noles in a long, long time. What a ball game we had in Atlanta, huh?
Great ball game on it.
Bobby just said great ball game, wasn't it? The standings in the ACC. They've been shuffled again. Like this. Now it's Maryland idle on the top spot in the Atlantic. And lo and behold, thanks to Miami, Georgia Tech has taken over the Coastal. Who's going to get it to Tampa? The month of November will tell us, won't it? For Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Stacey Dales, from Atlanta, Brad Nessler. Good night.